Something is not right. And perhaps you're a fool, but you need to know. You've never been able to leave well enough alone. Strong-willed, perhaps, or maybe just stubborn and a little foolish. The comforting weight of the pipe held high in your hand, you swing the door open, and breath held, half step out into the hallway. It seems vanishingly long and unbearably quiet. You are its sole occupant, and that scares you worse than anything before. There is no monster, no man, no sign of a struggle. Though you call out, there is no one there to answer. Only the cigarette stamped in the carpet and the pipe in your hand assure you that Evelyn was ever even there at all. You close your eyes and hold your breath again, almost until it becomes painful. You wish it all away. You try hard to wake up. You fight the urge to childishly stomp your foot. When you open your eyes, the hallway is still there. Regrettably, it appears that while things here might disappear, they don't do so when you want them to. You're pretty sure there's nothing you can do for Evelyn right now, if he was ever really there to begin with. You duck back into the room to search it for anything of value. Maybe Evelyn left something useful, or if you really just woke up there, maybe there was something he missed. You go through the chair cushions and look under the table. Skittishly, you check under the bed, but there is nothing more useful, or more evil, than dust. When you check the small nightstand at the foot of the bed, however, you find in it something odd, if not of immediate value. It's the broken-off heel of a leopard-print lady's shoe. You wonder how it got there. With a noise of disgust, you scoop the heel up and head out of the room. You wander down the hall, shaking hands with the doorknobs. It gradually becomes obvious that most of these doors just aren't going to open. One of them, 207, is actually locked. Most of the rest of them just seem to be jammed in some way. At the end of the hall are large double doors, also locked. Only one room in this hall is open, room 209. You gently open the door a crack, your pipe at the ready in your other hand. The first thing you notice is the surprising amount of illumination coming from the wide-open bathroom door. From here, at least, you don't see a repeat of the grisly scene from your last bathroom adventure. The second thing that catches your attention is what looks like a white envelope laying at the foot of the bed. You listen carefully for anything that might indicate a presence in the room. You hear nothing, but nonetheless the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You open the door and take a step inside. You've barely had time to take in your surroundings when you hear a muffled shriek, and something lurches towards you from the shadows behind an old recliner. You bring the pipe up automatically to defend yourself, and bat away the thing's tongue as it lashes towards your face. Panic surges through you. It's fight or flight, and you're not sure which option is less suicidal. You don't know if this thing is technically alive, but something desperate inside you call out for you to make it dead, to render it no longer a threat. Without waiting to ask your brain for permission, your hands bring the pipe down hard on what might be the operation's head. The thing wails and thrashes its unholy tangle of limbs, the lashing tongue that fills its mouth muffling its desperate cries. Unthinkingly, you beat it again and again. Though it scores you by luck once or twice with its tongue, it's clear who the victor is here. Eventually, the thing falls against your punishment. It slides sickly to the floor, laying in a spreading pool of its own greasy, brackish ichor. Its limbs twitch slightly, and its moans have become mere gurgles. It does not take a doctor to suspect that this thing, whatever it is pretty much done for. The smell is the worst. It's something like blood, but something more like rotten fruit. There's blood on the pipe, and some on your pants. You think you might throw up. You put as much distance between you and the dead congealing thing as possible, even though you're a little afraid of the thing leaping back up at you the moment the back is turned. It turns out to be somewhat difficult to angle the pipe right to wipe it on the floor, so you settle for wiping on the bed sheets. You'll probably never get it totally clean, but at least it's dry now. Your pants are going to need a lot more help if you're going to get them clean. Trying to slow your heart rate a bit, you grab the letter off the end of the bed. You're surprised to find that the envelope contains not a letter, but a wedding invitation. An old nausea stirs up in you that has nothing to do with the stench of the room. Always the bridesmaid indeed. Well, you hope Sharon and John are happy together somewhere, far from this God-forsaken place. You do wonder, however, you use the invite to scribble down what looks like the numbers of a locker or safe combination. 36, 5, 72. You rip the part with the numbers off the invitation carelessly and shove it in your pocket. As you do, you feel the cigarette pack in there and pull it out instinctively. You're usually not this much of a chain smoker, but if anything calls for a cigarette, you think killing a hideous monstrosity with a steel pipe is probably it. Unfortunately, as you pull one out and put it to your lips, you realize there are only 2 of them left. You probably shouldn't have had one when you gave one to Evelyn. Hopefully there won't be any more call to smoke until you get out of here and find a mini-mart. It's a slim hope, of course. If this were a decade ago, you could probably get a pack in a vending machine here in the hotel itself. You remember Uncle James buying packs of them in the restaurants when you were a kid. Well, until Mary made him quit, anyway. You light up and take a long drag, putting the pack away. Your pockets are getting really full. Yet another potential problem, along with the imminent staining of your pants with monster blood. The idea of people seeing you streaked with blood makes you uncomfortable. You're still holding out the hope that you can get out of this horror hotel and back into town where there are normal people. You don't think explaining to them that the blood came from a distorted thing will help matters. Plus, you can feel the disgusting liquid soaking through you. You don't want that stuff on your legs. Closing your eyes and stepping gingerly over the mess on the floor, you close the door so nothing can come in and get you while you're occupied. Then you step back over, trying to put the sight of the body out of your mind, and head into the brightly lit bathroom. The tub is clean and corpse-free, but you still have an uneasy feeling about it from your previous encounter, and decide to wash the pants in the sink. You slip them off over your shoes, just in case, and start to run them under cold, cold water. As you do, you notice that on top of the sink is a bottle of alcohol, on top of what looks like a note or letter. You wad the filthy pants up in the sink and leave the water running. As you lift the bottle from on top of the note, you realize that, though it still smells strongly of sour mash whiskey, it's empty. Putting it aside, you pick up the note. Sharon, here's your goddamned RSVP, you bitch! How dare you pretend you can still be friends? I hope you don't expect our hotel key back. I am getting rid of it right now. It looks like Meg and Sharon had a bad breakup. You can sympathize and think it's pretty low to invite your bitter and clearly recent ex to your wedding. You turn the paper over and examine the back to see if there are any secret codes, death threats, or mysterious messages on it. It turns out to be blank, however. You really need to get out of this place before it does anything further to damage your expectations of reality. Additionally, you shake the empty bottle of booze to see if there's a key in it, but is in fact empty of keys as well as booze. You're about to discard the vengeful note when you have a sudden flash back to the old children's mystery novels you used to read in grade school. Feeling rather clever, you get your lighter out and hold it close to the page to look for invisible ink. You accidentally bring the lighter a little too close to the paper and it bursts into flames. At first you can't believe what you just did. Then, quickly realizing your hand is about to be on fire, you douse the paper in the sink. Nothing much is left of it besides wet ashes. You decide the paper didn't contain any useful information anyway, and to pretend you didn't just do that, actually you meant to do it. It was a stupid paper. Good riddance. You try to put the burnt letter debacle out of your mind, and fish your pants out of the sink. The good news is that they're blood-free. On the other hand, they are also soaking wet. It's starting to look like you didn't quite think this through. You consider your options. You could hunt around for a towel or a hairdryer. You could hunt around for a spare pair of pants. You could walk around in your wet pants. Or you could walk around in your underwear. Only the first two sound appealing, but they also sound unlikely to be successful. You turn around to put your pants back in the sink, and you think your dilemma through, but as you do, you see something down the drain glinting in the light. It looks like there's something metallic stuck down there. You lean over the sink and squint down into the drain. You're somewhat gratified to see that the shiny thing, as far as you can tell, is a key. Unfortunately, it's pretty far down in there, and you don't think your fingers would fit. Even if they did, you might accidentally knock it away. Maybe you have something you could use to get up more reliably? As though a light bulb going off in your head, you have a flash of inspiration. You dig through your coat pocket and pull out the magnet you found earlier. You stick it in the drain and go fishing. Immediately you hear a small clink noise, and you pull up your prize. It is indeed a key, and the number on it is 207, the locked door in this very hall. You pocket it immediately. You think you may have a streak of good ideas going. The key pocketed, you march back into the main room and roll your pants up in the blankets. You pat, scrub, and shake them dry. It's not as absorbent as a towel, of course. The pants are no longer soaked, but they're still uncomfortably moist, and probably will be for a while. But you could put them on now without dripping all over the floor, if you are a mind to. You struggle into your still too moist pants, grin, and bear it. That's what you're going to have to do. Can't run around in your undies in some god-forsaken, monster-ridden nonsense hotel. Who knows? Maybe there will be a fire escape in room 207. You can just leave. You're busy contemplating the lovely thought of leaving. You're startled by a sudden noise, nearly jump out of your recently redonned pants. There's some kind of crash from just outside the hotel room.